heard me the first time, so I gotta say it again for 'em.
I'ma just do my thing, do my thing, do my thing. I'ma just live my life, live my life, live my life. I'ma do what I want, yeah that's right, yeah that's right. I'ma just do my thing, do my thing, do my thing. Conga, bring out the bass, bring out the L. I got the chase, I got the gold. All of my necklace and a smile, you can't erase. It's the winner circle over here. We like to wild out and get weird. We like to put our hands in the sky, yeah, and show the world that we here. The way we living is so rare. But ask, do I care? Do I care? I'ma just do my thing, do my thing, do my thing, do my thing.
And another one.
And
Another one. Cheers.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. A few things have changed since.
Do you know if it's a girl or a boy, or you don't want to?
Not yet.
Okay.
I will find out eventually, but like with this whole like pandemic and
Yeah.
everything, I've just been kind of delaying because I want to do some sort of gathering.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
If
Like a
somebody,
reveal.
yes, like a reveal. If
Yes.
somebody tries to Zoom me one more time, like I am over these Zoom video calls.
You're not the only one.
Yeah, I think we're all there. I mean, what do you feel? Is it a girl? What do you feel?
I mean, at the beginning, I was sure it was a girl, but then now with the way it's been like kind of kicking me, I'm like, oh, it's a boy.
Really? I think it's a girl.
You think so?
I think it's a
Okay, so
girl.
what do
I
you
don't know. I'm
say?
getting
What do
girl
you say?
energy.
You
I'm
think
getting
it's a girl?
feminine energy. I don't know.
Feminine
Okay.
energy?
No, Cher is really good at it.
Oh,
So,
I-
what are you getting?
Tell us, psychic share. How about tell us what the next question is? Maybe you could guess it before we pick it.
Okay, let me guess. I think that's
Let's go.
I'm not watching.
Make it a good one.
Okay.
Okay.
Is female empowerment and women supporting women a real thing or just a trend?
Is it just a hashtag?
Okay, I've been feeling recently that it's more of a hashtag trend than
For
a
real?
reality.
Why?
Because I feel like, well, first of all, I've been empowering women since like 2012. Okay, let me just
right.
throw that out there.
Right.
Before it
You
was a
remember
trend.
the year.
I
Okay.
remember
okay.
the years.
Okay.
Okay. But I feel like since then, I see that it's become popular. Like when in terms of events, you know how they do like panels where it's like women entrepreneurs and everything. And then, but behind the scene, people are not getting paid or they're not being treated nicely or the
Ooh.
people being hired to organize the event or to film the event are male company, like
It's
men.
male dominated.
Yeah, it's male dominated. They're not seeking out media companies that are owned by women. So you know what I mean? Like the actual work that comes into supporting women, I don't see it from a lot of the people who claim to be about female empowerment and like don't get me started in like 50% of the life coaches that have popped up all of a sudden. I don't
But
know,
don't
is it just
you
me? Am I being
feel-
bitter? Maybe.
But don't you feel that we are more awakening about, how as being a woman and how to support each other? Don't you feel that we're talking about it more? And some of them are actually real, I
Yeah.
think.
There is some, don't get me wrong. I don't
Yeah.
think it's
Yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
fake.
Yeah.
And I do think there's more awareness around
Yeah,
the
definitely,
topic, you know?
Yeah.
But I think that people forget that it's not just saying like, hey, I'm a feminist, I'm pro-girl. There's actually an action that needs to be attached to it.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I think that women are supporting more women. I think there's less competition. That's
You
what
feel?
I feel it. Yeah, I feel there's less competition with women,
Okay.
but I do think that the men, I think, are using it more as a hashtag. Sort of like also, like the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah,
Everybody was all like,
definitely.
Black Lives Matter. And then it's like,
Definitely.
ain't nobody talking about it no more, right?
Definitely.
So
I
it's the
think
same
that-
thing. It's the same thing. I feel that, yes, because it's in, right?
Right.
To be down with women and they're trying to, fight sexism and whatever. But does that translate behind the scenes? Not always, because our pays, we still get paid less.
Exactly.
There's so
Exactly.
many things, so
No,
many
but are
things
companies
unfair.
hiring more women? Are they hiring more Black people? Like I've been like looking at brands and looking at their campaigns to be like, okay, is there actual Black people? Because a lot of people are like, oh, Black Lives Matter, or whatever, or like women supporting women, and like, okay, is that actually translating into like your social media, your platform? Like, are you actually like real about that? You know, like if you look at people, it's.
But I feel like in those platforms, and especially like social media, I feel like women are getting there. I feel like you know, you see women like Dove. Like, did you see the Dove campaign? There were like, you know, many women. There were like different women that were just like.
But Dove's always been good.
It's true.
Dove has always been pretty good with that.
It's true.
Before it became a trend. So them I rock with.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to give them our money. We're going to support them, okay? I'm going to drink to that.
Yes.
I'm going to drink to that.
I buy Dove products like them.
There's for sure an energy that's risen that I would say is called feminine. I don't want to say woman because we all have feminine energy, men and women, right? And that's what's risen because men are becoming more feminine or tapping into their feminine energy. And women are as well, and it's making them more empowered. Are they supporting other women in their empowerment? I think so. I think it's natural, but I don't know how.
I think we have to start with our circles.
I agree with that.
It starts there. It starts with, you know, with our friends.
Yes.
You know, your best friend not supporting you, it's not normal.
Right.
Yeah, and do you call her out? Do you call her out? Do you call her out?
All the time.
Yeah, but do you call her out? Like I've had friends, I've called out. Like, do you call out?
No, but Sheila's calling out people for just about it.
But you know what? No, but you know what?
No, but
I rate that. I love that.
That's how we hold each other accountable. Like, if you feel that way, like, do you tell that person, like, hey, what's up? Like, if your best friend like is doing something, do you say, hey, like, I don't feel supported? Like, do you tell her? Or do we just like think people are psychic and they know what we want?
It's true. It's true that
you tell her.
Yeah, it's true that I tend to not say it, but to me, it's so like it should be automatic.
That's what I was gonna say.
You know, it's
I don't say it because I don't care. I'm just like, not that I don't care, but it's just that I'm like, you know what? I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to elevate. If you want to be on that low vibrational energy, I'll leave you right there in your low vibration. I'm on
yeah.
But I like that though.
But don't you feel like your best friend or your sister
I feel
or
like
your
certain things should be upset to some extent because, like for me, if I care about someone, it's natural for me to be like rooting for you.
That's it.
I want you to win.
I agree.
That's it.
You know?
I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah, but we are who we are, and some people aren't at our level. And just because we're best friends doesn't mean that person is going to know. If you don't tell them, like we have to, just like you tell your kid.
I was about to say that because if it's a best friend,
okay, maybe
it's not. We're not gonna get to that point.
But
a friend,
people grow differently. Maybe we've grown. Maybe we've outgrown each other. Maybe I'm in a different place, and maybe like with COVID and everything, like there's a big distance between us, and people changed a lot, like in that time. And sometimes you don't know who someone is until they don't show up, and then you see, oh, that's where you're at. Oh, I see. And that's okay, but then you take your distance. And
then you act accordingly.
You take your distance. You're like, okay, like you said, low vibe. Okay.
Yeah, you stay right
there. You stay right there.
Okay.
I'm getting there.
Okay, I'll see you. I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
But I agree with you, Cindy. For me, it's like, you know, supporting women. It starts with my family. It starts with my closest friends. And if you don't show that, because I do always show my support to the people I love. Because it's normal, right?
Yeah.
It's just a basic thing to me.
But you're a Leo.
And it's not something...
I'm like, it's not normal for everyone, though.
It's not something that I would not... I can't see myself really asking, hey, support me more.
Me neither, I don't do that.
Yeah, like that's just not in my nature. I'd rather just observe and see who's there for me and who isn't.
Me too.
Same. And then that's how I decide where I classify you.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah, well, totally.
I've had people like say, "Oh, I don't feel like you supported me. Like you weren't a good friend." I've had people like tell me like you know they felt that I wasn't there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and my response was like, "Well, actually, I was." Like, look at this text message. Look at this. I go through my Instagram archives and I'm like, look at we
supported.
Look at this. Okay, check your memory. Okay.
But don't you feel we're more sensitive to like compared to men? with that time, that kind of support each other, whatever. I feel that
I think so too.
yeah, we're more
Yeah.
sensitive, huh?
I don't know. You know what? I understand what you're saying, but I think that it's just that men are so used to supporting each other and us being excluded. So I don't know if it's that we're more sensitive to
Really?
it.
You find?
Really?
Men support-
the boys
yeah,
club.
yeah.
Men will.
No. There's a difference between
Difference.
backing each other up
Yeah.
and supporting each
You
other.
know what? That's a great fact
Yeah.
too, though. That's
Because
true.
the boys
yeah.
will back each other up.
They won't necessarily support.
If he said he didn't do it, my bro didn't do it. Okay, they will back. They will back each
We're
other.
talking
It's-
emotional
it's
support.
different.
Okay, yeah,
yeah. Emotional
Okay.
support. I don't think it's
Emotional
the
support.
same.
No, definitely.
Because
Yeah.
my
No.
husband has this group.
I don't
of
think
friends
guys
that
open up.
Like he calls
No.
them his best friends,
Okay.
and I'm like, when's the last time you spoke to him? It was
Mhm.
like 3 months.
Guys
ago.
are weird.
Yeah, they
3
don't have the
months ago.
same. Yeah, no, it's
No.
true. They
They're
don't
not as
open
social
up.
as us.
No.
But it's,
Well,
it's,
let's
it's
say-
biological though.
But let's say, okay, I opened this restaurant, okay? So you guys all gonna come and support me and have a meal and have a drink, whatever. If it was a man and his friend didn't come over, would he feel as much like, oh my God, my best friend didn't come
I think
to
so.
support
I
me?
think so.
You
I
don't
think
think
so.
so? I think
I was
so.
watching a TV show and the guys were fighting over that exactly. They're
Yeah.
like, I had a baby, you weren't there, you didn't call me.
What?
And
Maybe if
it
it's
takes them a while.
ongoing,
It takes them a
yeah.
while to say it,
Yeah.
but their resentment builds, and then they're like in each other's face, like, "Yo, bro, like, woo, woo, woo," you know, like,
Really?
yeah. I'm saying the feminine energy
Yeah.
is rising within all of us.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well,
I
I,
think that
don't
they
know.
might
I
not
think my
verbalize
husband
it.
missed that memo because, like, because I definitely don't see that feminine energy like at all.
So we're more
I don't
sensitive.
know.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
we're more
feel like-
sensitive. Yeah.
I think so
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I
Because
think so.
I mean, I'm like trying to think of specific examples,
Yeah.
and like, so we
Okay,
had
it's a
we had two
business.
weddings. We had a civil wedding and we had
Mhm.
a
Okay.
destination wedding.
Okay.
His best friend arrived late to the civil wedding.
We're like,
You're like, well,
and he didn't come to the destination wedding.
okay.
So if that was my best
oh,
friend,
I would've been
okay,
mad.
no.
what?
I would have been livid.
Livid.
Yeah,
okay?
livid is a good
Your
word.
husband, he didn't care?
He's like, well, you know, that's Mike. What you gonna do about it?
Oh,
Yes.
you see? So,
So-
yeah, men are more like relaxed. You
They're
know?
more
They're more
relaxed.
chill.
They're
They
like,
yeah.
are.
And
Yeah.
he's like, you know, I know my friend is my friend, so it's like whatever.
If you couldn't
Yeah.
make it, you
And
couldn't
we
make it.
would have
Yeah.
been pissed.
We would have been very mad
Yeah,
because we need
yeah.
that emotional support from our best friends.
Yeah.
You know, we need that.
Yeah,
And
but
I-
women are more
supporting.
social though. Like if you think about our biology, the women were like hunters. The women were gathering. They were always together. They were gossiping. They were talking, right? And the men were out like hunting. Like they just need to be like, you know, like signs.
yeah,
like
Right.
they're very different.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe like it's all about how balanced we
Yeah.
are.
Mm-hmm.
Because he should have said something. Maybe he should have said something. He should have.
But maybe not if to him it doesn't impact him.
But are you sure though? I know Patrick's a Virgo. It means he's very like detached
so
from his
you guys
emotions.
gonna hear a lot about astrology here. Now you guys know I'm a Leo. You know that Cindy's
I'm
a
a
Taurus.
Taurus.
and
Patrick's a Virgo. He's detached from his emotions.
Virgo, there you go.
It's easy for him to detach from his emotions. I'm a Virgo too. It's
Yeah.
easy for us to be like, oh
He's-
yeah, it doesn't
yeah, he's
matter.
very
But it
detached.
does, of course. Like, come on. Of course.
Yeah, because for me, I mean, if we're talking about sides, for Taurus, the number one thing is loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't show up for something that's such a
Important.
monumental
Yeah.
part of my life,
Me too.
I'm like re-questioning everything.
Me
I'm-
too.
Everything.
Me too.
Facts.
Me too.
Facts.
It has to be normal.
Facts. And I'm an overthinker, so I'm gonna think about
Me
that
too.
a whole lot.
Because then,
I will-
are they still friends? Are they still as
Oh
close?
yeah, they're still friends. He will still say that that's his best friend.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like,
Well,
I mean, if it works for him.
well, maybe
you
that's
know?
maybe that's who he is. Maybe he's like, oh, that's who he is. You know,
Yeah.
he doesn't expect anything more. And maybe that's where we go wrong. Is we have high expectations for people, and we shouldn't. We really have to lower those.
Take them at face
Yeah, and
value.
accept them for who they are.
Supporting women. I mean, you have. I just find it's funny that we question, you know, how my friend is not supposed to come to my wedding. I mean, this is basic shit.
Right.
You know,
I
it's
agree.
basic shit
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, but for men, marriage isn't that.
it's supporting. You opened your business. Did I come?
Of course.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
No, women are more sensitive. I think people were like offended that I didn't invite them, even though it was like so crowded. I couldn't invite people.
No, but you
I feel like I lost friends because people were like, "Oh
No
yeah."
way.
No, not real friends, but people who are like
Acquaintances.
people who just want to be invited to the party, and they're
Yeah,
like,
right.
"Oh, you didn't invite me," and therefore. And I'm like,
But that's problematic. to
but
me.
that's women. How women are.
That's
They're
what
like,
I'm
"Oh,
about
you
to
didn't
say. That
invite
to
me."
I can't.
So
Like-
it's all bullshit, the hashtag then. Sorry for my language.
Yeah.
But you know, basically when so exactly.
Maybe
So
that's why
it was
some
a
women
trend
find it
then.
hard to support other women because it's so complicated and there's all these nuances and there's all these expectations. So it makes it, you know, it makes it difficult.
It comes from self-love. People don't love themselves enough to show up for you in that same way. It's that. It's that.
Oh, real talk.
Yeah, there we go.
Deepness.
Yes. Real talk.
But for business purposes, though, do you still think that that's the case? Because in terms of, if you really just believe in female empowerment, regardless of the emotions, wouldn't you just do it for the cause and because it's a fellow woman and you
Yeah,
Right.
if you're business minded, but some people
If you're
aren't.
business minded, and if your business mind is more prominent, I guess, than your emotions, right? Because, you know, people that are jealous, envious, you know, you have to be 100% comfortable with yourself and your self-worth, you know, to be able to go and support someone, you know, because if not, jealousy, envy comes in, you know, like, yo, this is sometimes what women are about, sadly. But
So
it
I
does
think
happen.
it's a trend, Boo. Finally, to answer the question. So are we seeing it's an hashtag, it's a trend, or it's here to
Okay,
stay?
I don't use the hashtag that much. Because to me, it's not about the hashtag, it's about like who you actually
it's
are.
No,
what
but
you're
when we
doing.
say hashtag, we just mean like, is it a trend or is it a real movement?
Movement.
Yeah.
Well, I do think like the world is changing for sure.
Definitely.
For sure.
In general.
Oh yeah, in general. But like, are women still competitive? Are we still comparing each other?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh.
Absolutely. Et bien sorti.
Absolutely. But do I feel we want to support each other for like, you know, violence against women, for example? Yes, we do. Yes, I'm gonna go walk for, you know, that women. Remember in La Salle, she died there. Her
Yeah.
boyfriend killed her with just like knock her off on her face and she
Yeah.
died. For me, yes, I went on the street and I walked for that mother, for that daughter,
Yeah.
for this woman that lost her life, you know, for sure. Will I walk for those immigrant mothers, you know, that have nowhere to go or, you know, do an organization kind of fund, whatever? Yes, I will, because I believe that, you know, it starts there with mothers, like, you know, pilier of la famille, you know,
Yeah.
for me.
Right.
But to say that everybody's like that,
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm really
Yeah.
not sure. It's
No.
the concrete, like the actions.
The action,
Do you
especially
talk?
in
The
business.
action.
You know.
Yeah, do
especially
you
in
walk the walk that
business.
you talk?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm
Because
not
I've
sure
had, like,
about
I've had a
that.
female boss, like, you know, because I was supposed to hire people
Right.
for the company,
Right.
and I was telling her, oh, this woman I interviewed, super sweet, charismatic. I think she'll be great in sales. Da, da,
Right.
da. And her kid was in the background because it was like a video call. Like her kid was super cute. She's like, oh, she has young kids. Yeah, let's try to avoid the women with really
And you
young
were like,
kids.
Imagine.
Oh,
And I'm
You
like,
understand?
Oh
Yeah.
Lord.
I
Oh my
cannot
God.
believe this is a woman, a female boss telling me that.
Yeah.
Like,
Imagine.
Which is horrible.
Yeah.
It's not
hate
women
that. I'm
supporting
like-
women.
I'm like fired up inside.
This is
Wow.
not women
So
supporting
that's
women.
why I'm saying
Yeah.
that. I feel like when it really comes down to it, sometimes the women are doing just as much damage
Yeah.
as, you know, the men who are not supporting
Yeah.
the women.
Yeah.
Like, and
But it's getting better.
Yeah, slowly.
Well, we
but-
have to call people out. We have to. You should say no. It's
No,
true.
No, I agree.
Shares,
I agree.
boss.
I-
No, it's true. You have to say like, you know what? That's not cool. That's
I
not
ended
right.
up calling them out.
That's what
I
I'm
waited
saying.
until I was pregnant.
Exactly.
And I was like, by the way.
Okay.
By the way, let me tell y'all something.
Yeah.
BTW, OMG, WTF.
I'm pregnant, and when I have babies, I'm going to make even more money than I did when I work here. I'm quitting.
Exactly.
Peace.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that, guys. Cheers to, and let's support each other.
Yes.
Let's support each other.
In life and
Cheers.
business.
Yes.
Yes.
And life and business.
Life and
absolutely.
business. Cheers, guys.
I ain't felt this good in a minute. Own it. I ain't tryna rent it.